Chapter 2. Birth of the Messenger. Birth is the start of life. Living is the art of life. Love is a part of life. Death is the last of life. But you are the heart of my life. For as the Father has life in himself, so he has granted his Son to have life in himself. Here the Father is the Godfather, the supreme power, and his Son is none other than Jesus Christ. The Bible speaks of Jesus Christ, John 5:26, as having life in himself, and his followers as having life in themselves. John 6:5-3. But unfortunately Jesus was crucified, but the Lord rose again from the dead. Lord Krishna was born in a prison to devout parents Devaki and Vasudeva. At the time of his birth, his life was in danger as the tyrant Kansa was seeking to kill him. As unpredictable as his life was, so was his death. One day while the Lord was sleeping, he was mistaken for a deer, and a hunter named Jara shot him with an arrow. Krishna forgives and dies. My son Hrishab Choudhury Ruplu was none other than the son of the Lord. He was a messenger of God who passed the message of positivity, who taught us to smile during hard times, and he himself led a meaningful life, keeping aside his sufferings. Birth of the Messenger. The conceptual period way back in 2000 was a risk due to my increased age, stress, and hormonal changes. With off and on bleeding, I was frustrated and wanted to abort it. Weekly ultrasonic imaging gave updates of the viability of the embryo, and gynecologist Dr. Manoj Mozumdar said, "Baido, don't worry, it is alive." I saw a radiance of hope and continued the medicines advised and rested for a month. The rest helped because I was almost at my normal self, so rejoined my duties. Being an anesthesiologist, I was always exposed to phytotoxic anesthetic agents, but with sincerity I continued my work. At 12 weeks of gestation, Dr. Mazumdar was pleased to see the fetal somersaults and assured that the baby on growing up would put his elder brother in the second position. My happiness knew no bounds. I started to take care of myself. After all, an athlete was to be born. Bhaskar too knew the kind of baby that was to be born. His pampering only increased for the better. As Ruplu grew, I could feel his vibrancy within me. The flutters changed to kicks, and sometimes head movements brought shivers down my spine. Only a mother can experience such pleasant feelings. When Paplu was a kid of 6 years, he sat down under my huge womb and said, "Ma swa moi satir tolot bohisu." "Ma, see, I am sitting under an umbrella." Ha ha, sweet old memories. In this land of cultures, every important event in one's life has its share of rituals, and pregnancy is one of them. At 20 weeks, my mother, mother-in-law, and 3 other ladies did the honor of feeding me with the panchamrit or the panchamrut, a sweet concoction. It is otherwise called the nectar of God in Ayurveda, given as a ritual and also for its health benefits during pregnancy. Panchamrit is made of 5 ingredients: milk, curd, honey, liquid jaggery or sugar, and ghee. Milk represents purity, curd for strength, honey depicts unity as it is jointly prepared by bees, sugar adds sweetness, and ghee nourishes the body. Days passed, and each movement within my womb gave me immense pleasure, as it reminded me of an active and healthy baby that I was carrying. But on my 28 weeks of pregnancy, Bhaskar had to leave for Madurai for SICS training for 2 months. During that period, my father-in-law, mother-in-law, and my mother kept me company. It was a crucial moment for me, as I was responsible for my old companions too. Besides, I carried on with my duty and Paplu with his school. But we were amidst a crowd of doctors who were concerned and caring at all times. Soon I stepped into 36th week, 9 months. Ohomia no Mohia Nam, or prayer in the form of song, kirtan, is sung by ladies to welcome and bless the new member, similar to baby shower. It celebrates the birth of the child or the transformation of a woman into a mother. Indian baby shower is god bhari, to fill the lap with abundance. Preparations for the Naam took place at our quarter in Hojai, and both the grandmothers were very excited. But I was very tensed, lying down on the bed with stethoscope in my ears. Oh my God! I was trying to hear the fetal heart sound, as I hadn't felt any fetal movement for quite some time. Being worried, I shouted at my mother and asked her to stop the Nam Prahango. I told her it was of no use, as I did not get the fetal movement. The words were no less than lightning, for they froze them at their places, and the Nam halted. Dr. Rupjyoti Kalita, gynecologist, was called for, and he examined and said, "The baby is sleeping. There is nothing to worry." Thanks to God, I smiled and asked Ma and her team to continue with the kirtan. The countdown began as only 10 days to go. After a gap of 7 years, my precious baby, the Son of the Lord, was to be born by caesarean section. The date for C-section was fixed on 29th November, the very special day when Papa Bhaskar was also born. My father-in-law did a little bit of foreseeing and astrology, and he fixed the time to be at noon. Bhaskar arrived on the 28th, and in the evening we shifted to the hospital cabin. We met after 2 long months and became so emotional that we hugged each other and showered our love to the little one inside. Rintu, Babi, and a year-old Raina also came to bless the little one. 29th November 2000, the happiest and the most memorable day in our lives. We were blessed with a 3.75 kg healthy baby boy. Dr. Manoj Mazumdar and Dr. Rupjyoti Kalita performed the caesarean section, and Dr. Jagadish Basumatari, pioneer anesthetist of Hum Hospital, gave the anesthesia. Everyone rejoiced at the coming of the angel whom we nicknamed Ruplu. Rup from Dr. Rupjyoti and Lu from Paplu. While in the cabin, the hospital staff poured in to bless the baby, and in return he gave them happiness in the form of bright beams. Just as in the womb his activities continued, it was difficult to put him off to sleep. Instead, feeding and changing of nappies went on all throughout the night. The following afternoon I was made to ambulate by Dr. Manoj, and third post-operative day I was discharged. God has sent His special Son to be cared for and nurtured by us. Paplu was so thrilled that he hung a warm welcome poster on the door welcoming the God's messenger.